In November 1956, the most powerful empire in human history, an empire that had ruled a quarter of the Earth's surface, was brought to its knees in just 11 days. It wasn't a military defeat. It wasn't a revolution. It was a phone call, an ultimatum from Washington, D.C. Stop your invasion of Egypt, or we will financially liquidate you. Britain, the world's banker for over a century, was bankrupt. It surrendered not to an enemy army, but to its own creditor, to the crushing weight of its own debt. That moment, the Suez Crisis, was the final humiliating proof that the empire was a ghost. But Britain's fall didn't begin with that phone call. It began decades earlier, with a series of mistakes, a pattern of debt, overextension, and denial. A pattern that America is following step for step, and the clock is ticking. To understand how an empire dies, you must first understand how it lived. In the 19th century, the British pound wasn't just money, it was power. The world ran on it. This allowed Britain to run massive deficits, borrowing at rock-bottom rates to fund a global military presence. They lived beyond their means because the world needed their currency more than they needed to balance their books. But beneath the surface, the foundation was cracking. By the early 1900s, America was the world's largest economy. Then came the World Wars. Britain borrowed staggering sums, transforming from the world's largest creditor to one of its largest debtors. And here, Britain made its fatal choice. Instead of accepting reality, it chose denial. It pretended nothing had changed. Leaders kept spending on an empire they could no longer afford. They propped up the pound through financial tricks and forced their own colonies to use it, holding them hostage to maintain the illusion of strength. It was pure ego, and it was a death sentence. This brings us to 1956. When Egypt nationalized the Suez Canal, Britain's imperial pride was wounded.
Ladies and gentlemen of the
They
press,
invaded,
please.
but they had
One
forgotten
question at
the
a time.
golden rule.
The president
Don't
is
pick a
fully aware
fight
of the
when your
situation.
bank account is empty. President Eisenhower was furious. He threatened to sell off America's holdings of the British pound, an act that would have triggered a total collapse. Britain's foreign
Honey,
currency
look at
reserves
these
were
prices.
evaporating. They were days
I know,
from
it's just getting
catastrophe.
harder and harder.
The Prime Minister had